Hi guys, welcome to the fifth episode of the Indie Couch Sessions, and it's been a great ride so far. And meeting people from different sounds and genres. I think it has been a week of research or so to jot down the guest for this episode. And actually, things happen like that. When the person sits right next to you and you are looking at the world outside to search for him. So please welcome Agnitray Chakravarti, and more known as Agnitray rather. He's a percussionist and he's a tabla player. He's a composer. Thank you, Agnit. Welcome to Indie Couch Sessions, man. I mean, it's a pleasure to host you. And actually, I was thinking that how are you going to, demonstrate your sound through Zoom? But I'm very confident with the sound gadgets that you have, we'll be able to, get closer to know you. So tell us how has life been, and how rhythmic has been your life in the recent past.
So, first and foremost, let me reduce the reverb a bit. So, yeah, this is fine.
Yes.
Ridhan, thank you for hosting me. We have been friends for a very long time,
Yes.
and it's always a very good experience, or I should say, a very cathartic experience to talk to you because
Okay.
uh, we have been having this lockdown for ages now,
Yes.
and not only talking but interacting with like-minded people. It feels good, and it
Yes.
feels a little lighter, and it feels to connect with your elements. So,
Right. Right. Of
but
course.
with that, life has been hard. But I'll be very honest with you. As like all dark clouds, this has an amazing silver lining, which is as a musician, I have learned a lot of life in the last 1 year or so.
I
That
know, right?
what that where as a musician or as an artist, where do I stand in life, in this world, in society, and good, bad, ugly, whichever way, it is the truth. And yeah, so life has been more lively than musical or rhythmic in that case. And I think those were the questions.
Yes, yes, that's right. See, I asked you that. I've been asking that to everyone, and that's usually the first question because I totally understand that things haven't been right for the music fraternity per se. It's there are like no gigs happening, and I know for a fact how many concerts you used to do as a solo musician as well as in duos and trios in Calcutta. I mean, I remember you did not come for my engagement because you had a show that day. Of course, I couldn't stop you because that's your bread and butter, and I totally respect that. But yeah, I mean, right from that particular time when you are constantly having a show at a cafe or a pub, and to this, I mean, it's been a journey of self realization for all of us, I'm sure. But I think you are doing a lot of amazing stuff on YouTube. I know we were supposed to do something together that hasn't yet shaped, but then there are a lot of other tracks that you did before and after, which I think is out of the world. So tell us a little bit about that, YouTube project of yours, where you are coming up with different kind of experiments. In the sense that I saw that Andha Raja, and recently you put out something else also, if I'm not wrong. I can't remember the name, but then everything has an element of vision, a lot of visual aspect to it, as well as rhythm and drums. So how did all of this come together? The visual aspect with the rhythm and the drums and the tabla and so many of your instruments that you use in a loop. And I remember we played a gig together 5 years ago. You had just bought that MIDI stuff and all that. I remember you had took it to the stage, and then so from that Agnitray to this, I mean, like constantly this evolution. It makes me feel so happy and proud that whatever gadgets you bought, you are
Thank
doing
you.
complete justice to that. So tell us about this new sound of yours. How do you see it, and where do you want to take it from here?
Okay, so it's a loaded question. I'll try and explain it as nicely as I can. Okay, so see, number one, personally, see, so whatever I'm gonna say, these are all personal opinions,
Of
and
course.
that's how I work. And one thing which I strongly feel is that we are musicians, all right, but first and foremost, we are artists, And I personally think that for artists, it's very, very, very important to be well educated. And by well educated, I don't mean like you have a PhD or something like that, but you should be um, aware of your surroundings. You should be aware of what your predecessors have done.
Mhm.
And you also need to have an eye on the fact that how has the music you love or the music you have not loved yet
Mhm.
has evolved. And we all learn from our past, our mistakes, our right doings and everything. So I have realized that I am a person who likes to move, not literally, but I like to. My sound needs to move,
With
or
time.
else yeah, with time, or else there is no fun. And I do music because I love. There's a element of fun to it,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of evolution and experimentation.
Mhm.
So with time, I had the fortune to explore a lot of different music, and not only not only music, but a lot of philosophy, a little bit of spirituality,
Yeah.
and all of that came together, and it made me feel that the evolution needs to be a fluid.
Mhm.
All right, like you should not be hindered by a genre, or you should not be hindered by
Absolutely. Absolutely.
what people are going to say and all of that. And at the same time, a lot of different forms of music. So I was trained in Indian classical,
That's right.
which
Mhm.
Indian classical percussions. But later on, I realized that there's this huge world of electronic music,
Mhm.
and even in that scape, people have done amazing work, and work which is not per se musical, but
Mhm.
it adds on to the entire process.
I get it.
And at the same time, I explored other music. Right now I am learning Latin music, and I'm trying to get a grasp of jazz and Latin. So, like, if you ask me what is my vision for now, and
Mhm.
what was my vision even when I had bought that Novation
Mhm.
launch key when we played together,
Uh-huh.
is that I somewhere I want an pure amalgamation of different forms of art,
Mhm.
everything coming together. And so I'm going to say this. I don't know how many of you are going to relate, but I'm pretty sure the people who will relate, they will know what I'm talking about. That at times when you're on stage, or when you are maybe with your lover, or maybe when you're eating the food you love, there are these moments of pure bliss where it's something like out of body, but at the same time it's a very connective kind of an experience. So I am still in pursuit of that sound where electronic and acoustic and Latin and Indian classical, Drupad,
Mhm.
Turkish, everything comes together in such a natural manner that we forget all this, who's American, who's Indian, and all of that jazz. It just dissolves, and we are just a pure form of consciousness. So I know
I think
it sounds very.
that's a really good line you said, man. I mean, did you like you just said it right? I mean, it was unrehearsed. Wow, that's a really really good thought, I must say. But then on that note, I mean, you would love to hear something to start with, and then proceed with the conversation, because once we get to know the zone that you are in right now, I can ask the right questions too.
All right, all right. So, I'll try to play something. And so, before that, just cautionary warning or whatever. I am right now in a. If I take the liberty of saying, I am in a phase of metamorphosis, where I am again jumping ships from one part to the other.
That's great.
So, any which ways.
But
So the
you have really really interesting names. I mean, you name your tracks really nicely. So do let us know what is the name of the track that you are playing.
Yeah, yeah, sure. So this has no funky names. This is just uh, it's actually a I have redesigned a form of I have redesigned another song.
Mhm.
So I have this I have this intense fascination with Ma Kali, and
Hmm.
tantra and all
All
of
of
that. I somehow feel really fascinated with all of that.
Mhm.
So even if I keep all of that aside, so for all of you guys, I am a Bengali, and maybe because I am a Bengali or may not, but I have this strong fascination for Shama Shongit, which is
It's amazing.
songs dedicated to Akali. And so this song was made many years back. The song's name is Oi Shama Bama Ke,
Hmm.
which basically means the lyrics, it defines or it describes the beauty of Ma Kali,
Hmm.
and it was actually made by Pannalal Bhattacharya.
Yes.
So I have taken the lyrics, and not the lyrics, but I have taken his vocals.
Hmm.
I have sampled it and tried to do some electronic stuff. Not electronic, whatever it is, but I've
Hmm.
just tried to change it a bit. So let me give it a shot, and I
Let's hear
hope
that. Yeah, absolutely. Let's
yeah.
go.
I hope it was audible.
क्या बात है, क्या बात है. It was great. It was great. So yeah, that brings me to my next question. So once you are doing your shows, I mean, I'm sure there'll be like the silver lining that you were talking about, and I think what makes you really really indie, which is the name of the show, Indie Couch Sessions, is that your audacity to pick up these songs and turn it into something else which is equally adding like which is equally making this song pushing this song into a different dynamic of electronic music and drums and percussions. I think it makes the song more complete, because when Pannalal Bhattacharya made this song, I'm sure he wouldn't have realized that that there are like a lot of possibilities with his music. So it's really great that how you are conceiving it and turning it into something totally different. So,
But
how do you? Yeah, tell me.
Ardhan, I'll interrupt you in one thing, okay? And just like you said,
Hmm.
most probably he didn't imagine it this way. But it is my strong belief, so people make a lot of fuss regarding the fact that uh, Rabindranath's song is not supposed to be done like this.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. I've heard
Rise
so much about
film
it.
is not.
Yeah.
I strongly feel that. we worship them as like the perfect artists and all of that.
Mhm.
If and obviously they were. So
Mhm.
when such great artists they make these arts, they really don't want, if you make a really good song, you would want your future generations to do whatever they want with it.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
like give them their vision.
At
So
least they are keeping the song
stopping.
alive.
Exactly. And not only keeping it alive, but making it move with time
Time.
and generation.
I get that. I get
So
that.
I strongly feel that these artists, when they made their works, they wanted to express, but at the same time, they wanted the future generations to move it along.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, maybe he had imagined, maybe he didn't. But for example, I'll give you a very small example, like tabla players. If you listen to, older generation tabla players like Ustad Ahmad Jan Thirekwa and all, their baya work, no, if you really imagine their baya work is not close, but you can imagine that baya work like a dubstep track,
I think
like
actually
the entire
I think we
bass
had
wobble.
had a conversation on this before, right? I know what exactly you are saying.
So, I really think that we should all just do whatever we feel like, and like, don't do something stupid, but like do something
No, I
creative.
mean,
And
what's really interesting that how passionately you are speaking about this redesign and things like that, making a song move with time. I think it's phenomenal, and which
thank
actually
you.
brings me to the next question: is that when you play a gig, how do what is usually the crowd's response to when I'm sure you have played these things like these tracks at a gig somewhere on the stage. So first question, how has been the response from the people who are your audience? And secondly, do tell our viewers that how many gadgets you go up on stage with, because I have seen it myself how difficult it is. There's this darbuka, there's a drum kit, there's a tabla, there's this innovation, and I'm sure there are more additions to this beautiful family of yours. So tell us about that.
So, see, about the reaction, I'll tell you something I've really realized of late. And the fact is that if I directly answer your question, then I think that out of all the people who are there in a gig, in a cafe or in a pub or wherever, um, maybe maximum 20% of the people they relate to it. All right, a majority of them are just waiting for me to play a Hindi song or a
Oh,
Bollywood song,
even now?
which
Okay.
in yeah, it happens all the time, which in
Okay.
itself is not wrong. Okay,
Mhm.
like everything is right, everything is wrong. It's just the amount, all right. Like, and so honestly, my take has lately been about the fact that see, there are so many people I don't know.
Mhm.
So and my life is going on, my journey is going on.
Mhm.
So I am not gonna change my journey or my path for people I don't know, for appreciation from people I
Of course.
don't know.
Of course. Of course.
But said that, it's not that I don't like when people appreciate, but I like it when people appreciate my things for with honesty. All right, it's not because, "Arey, my friend told me that you play this, so I heard this." All of that is
Oh.
fine, but what is your take on it?
And I
And
think you are also
so
talking about your original creations in the sense that a Hindi song is something like somebody coming and asking you to play Khalbali on a darbuka, you'll play it anyway. But then that is not your song. But this is Panala Bhattacharya's song, but then you have redesigned the song, so that actually becomes half your creation too. So that I think there lies the difference, and people at times don't realize that an artist has to strike a balance, and which you are.
But see, as you said, I don't have a problem playing, let's say, Khalbali or something like that. But you might call me an elitist or whatever you want to. But um, I don't like to play that because you're drunk and you just want to dance.
I know,
I'm
I know,
sorry,
I know, I know.
that is not my cup of tea.
I know, I
So
know. And what about the instruments? What all do you have right now in your in your family?
okay. So this is something I would like to talk a little bit, विस्तार से बात करना चाहूँगा,
बताइए बताइए.
क्योंकि थैंक यू, क्योंकि क्या है ना कि बी इट आर फ्यूचर generation or be it the people who are elder than us, there is always, I have seen people having a kind of a apprehension against technology.
Mhm.
Somewhere they go and they think it is too complicated, or they think we are digressing from the real art.
Mhm.
But that is why I want to talk a little bit about equipments and technology and how it helps to shape our musical journey. So, if you do a little bit of digging, you'll realize that there has been four, eras of recording.
Mhm.
Like starting from acoustic era, then came electric era, then
Yeah,
came
analog equipment.
magnetic, and then digital.
Mhm.
And the funny part is, if you look at the timelines, no, and at the same time, if you look at the bands or the music which had come along, you will see that how technology and music, they kept on evolving parallelly.
That's
All right,
right. That's right.
like
Absolutely right.
very simple example, like the double bass, right? So from concerts of double bass, then came rockabilly, and then came electric bass when the whole electric era that came in. And from electric bass, now we have come to bass synths, and we are using a lot of songs are made out of bass synths.
That's right.
And from that, like, digital era to now, where the pandemic has the pandemic is here, and we don't know how long it's going to stay.
Mhm.
So like f- uh, as you can see, this whole Zoom meeting is happening, and we are performing. So without this technology and simple gadgets, like, even if you spend, let's say, 1000 1 grand buying few single very simple cables,
Mhm.
that will enable to you to expand your horizon to
Yes.
another level altogether.
Right.
So
Actually,
there is one equip.
the prices are coming down also. There's an iRig which you use to plug in your phone for you to sound better in live sessions. I saw an iRig on Amazon for $800. I mean, people are manufacturing different sorts of iRigs in different price brackets. So that's great.
See, another thing you have to see, if when you're starting off, you use an iRig or something like that, that's great. But I also feel that people should explore a little more, because you can use a lot of different things and give out the same output, just like maybe using one particular item for one thing. I
Right.
don't know whether I'm making sense or
No,
not,
no, no.
but
I can get it. I can get it. Yeah. But
so.
I think you should play something again, and then we can proceed with the conversation. Because whatever you are saying, we would like to see that happen a little bit too. I mean, with your samplers and things like that.
All right, all right. So, I'll play a song, and this is going to be a little longer. Okay. The reason I don't want to cut it in the middle
Hmm.
is because it's honestly a very meditative song, and it's a very special song because the song was made by none other than Mr. Shoturjit Rai, and as you know, it's his 100th year.
Yes.
And I'm still getting goosebumps thinking of that man, that how creative a human being can be. So, any which ways, this song's name is Bhuter Raja. It's taken from Gupika and Bagabain. And as I was saying, it has a lot of bass synths. I love bass. I really like bass players. Some of my best friends are bass players. So
I know that. I know that. Yeah.
so this song is obviously dedicated to him, and this song is dedicated to all the bass players and drummers out there,
Whoa.
not guitar players, vocalists, you guys, no, please get out. Yep.
So I love the way how you broke down the song. It is I was actually thinking which song is going to come. Like all the way throughout the track, you just got us thinking that okay, now Bhuter Raja will enter with that rap of sorts, or will Anup Ghoshal's voice is going to enter as the song. So I was just thinking, what's going to come next, which was a great thrill. Yeah, I mean, Satyajit Ray was a genius. I mean, see, I mean, he wrote stories, somebody who wrote stories, somebody who made films, somebody who composed music as well. I mean, it's like really, really, I mean, great. And also, you've been a student of his institute, which is itself a blessing to feel his vibe all around, right? I mean, that's great.
I love my institute, but it was made after he died and he didn't know about it. So there is no vibe shit going on.
I love how honest that is. But yeah, I mean, going to my next question, that this is something which is unique, and I'm sure when you play more of such tracks on stage, there's going to be a lot of. I remember one guy when we played that gig in Blue Frog, where you were playing that darbuka and you were looping in the khol, and then you played those bells, and you were on the drum kit too. There was one guy who came and said, "Dude, I really liked your gig. Your percussionist is amazing. But the only thing is, you really need people who understand this stuff to come and attend this gig. I mean, people who are coming to drink will probably not get it. But it's like you put up Charlie Parker on stage, and in a place like Bombay, and then you have these teenagers with their beers, and they're like, "Whoa, what the shit is happening?" So I think that was a great compliment for you, and I don't think I have told you this before or not. I just remembered right now because I was looking through those pictures which I have sent you. But going to the next question, a drummer, a percussionist, a tabla player, classical influences, everything, all things considered. Now tell us about your stage experiences, because as a drummer, he's always at the back, right? I mean, when you are playing with a band or a singer, songwriter, he's always at the front. And that has been the complaint of most of the drummers and percussionists. But then I remember when we used to play together as a band, we always ensured that you had a right corner or a left corner on stage. So just tell us, your experiences playing with several bands over the years and artists. What has been those 2 or 3 memorable experiences? It could be a funny one. It could be something which is not funny. Also, something that you remember, and something that you'll never forget from your days as a musician with bands and musicians.
See, first and foremost, uh, after as many years as I have been playing, one thing which I have not told you before, that is, I am actually, now I feel it and I want to be honest about it, that I am actually very thankful to you,
Oh,
then Shogoto Laha,
yeah,
and Varun, and that whole bunch, because
yeah.
that was my first band. And the first band is always,
Yeah,
it
we had a
always
lot of fun.
has a
We had a lot
special.
of fun. Yeah. Like if I
And
sit down to tell stories, I mean, it will never end. So it's better you say in brief 2 or 3 of your experience. It could be with that band or any other band also. I mean, it not necessarily has to be us, but
no, that is what I was saying. That after that band, so we had a band called Dump Terminal. I have played with a lot of other artists and bands, but that that band always has a special place in my heart. Most of them are still, I'm not being in touch would be an understatement. They are almost like family. I have gone to Laha's like marriage and been
yeah,
there
yeah,
for
we are
three,
all
four
still in
days and
touch
all
very
of that.
much. I'm sure we'll play together in future if all of us are in the same city. I have no doubts about that.
Yeah, and as per just to make it a little light, I'll tell you one small incident which had happened to me with a bowl band I was playing with. I won't name the band. It's pseudo famous or whatever you call it. So I was basically playing the percussions, and I had to switch from percussions to drums,
Hmm.
and somehow, sadly, our attire was dhuti and t-shirt. So I had worn a dhuti, and the dhuti was really complicated. I
Okay.
was not very sure about it, but I was like, it's all right. I'm gonna stand in one place and I'm gonna play my percussions, and that's gonna get over. And then by the end of the gig,
I'll
the
change to a
person who
jeans.
was and the worst part was, so what happened, I was trying to go from my darbuka place to the drum kit, and exactly midway my dhoti opened up
Oh
in
no.
Yeah, on stage
What?
it opened up. Yeah, it happened. And I was like, what to do? So then, I literally, I picked up the dhoti and I just walked casually over the drums, and the gig went well. But still the people who were there in that gig, a few of them, they still we converse, and they still, they pointed out that, man, your dhoti fell off.
That was definitely a hilarious story. Actually, it reminds me of one story I remember. You were very young that time, 2010. It's 11 years ago. So we were playing a gig at St. Xavier's College, and I remember people coming to, coming for autographs. Do you remember that?
And no.
Hey, come on, people were coming for autographs, and they were like asking. They took my autograph also, by the way. Mine, yours, Shogoto's, everyone's. But then, who's that cute kid on the tabla? That was what they were saying. Anyway, last thing before we wrap up, I'll ask you to play something in the end, chota sa. लेकिन उसके पहले, there are so many nice indie musicians around us. I mean, in India, I mean, look at cities like Kolkata, Bombay, Bangalore, and I know for a fact that you listen to a lot of music, and otherwise, none of us would survive, right? I mean, had I not been listening to music, this show wouldn't have happened. So tell us about two or three of those indie musicians that you are listening to right now. Basically, we are trying to know what's on your playlist, and like,
Okay.
and why. I mean, why are you listening to them? And what got you hooked to them? Because we all need to refresh our playlists a little bit, right? Every now and then.
See, I really think what you have asked, they are basically two different questions. If you are asking about my playlist, then right now I am listening to a lot of J Dilla. I am listening to Thundercat, and
Uh,
I'm trying to get into their mind space of how hip hop and electronic music it has come together,
mhm.
and about the artists, which indie artists I
Indie
really like to
artists, yeah.
follow. Yeah, obviously, I really appreciate Nuclear, though
Ah.
I don't think Nuclear is an indie or not anymore. But internally there are singular musicians like there is this guy called Ronak, who's a rapper.
Mhm.
Then there is Bodhisattva Ghosh, who's a guitar player.
Mhm.
Um, and then there are some phenomenal acts in Bombay. And for example, there's this drummer called Jairo Kavi. I think a
Yes.
lot of you guys know about him. I'm a huge fan of his
Brilliant.
work. A- and yeah, so these are actually, and there's one more act, and he's a great friend of mine. He's a great musician. Please check it out. It's called Fox in the Garden, and it's led by this singer songwriter guitar player called Shotrik Chakraborty,
Mhm.
very dear friend of mine, and he's doing some phenomenal indie work.
Wow, wow, lovely, lovely. So finally, we are going to ask you to play one last track for us. Need not be, a full track, but then whatever little you want to play. And it's been a pleasure to talk. I think we can talk forever, and but internet will probably not allow that. But it's been great to chat and catch up. I mean, I'm looking at your room, and then all these old memories are coming back, and. I know it's not the same floor, but then it's the similar mold of the room, and the setup is almost
Yes, yes, it is.
so. So it's really great, man. And what about your future, endeavors? Anything new that's coming up that we should know about?
See, honestly, right now I am taking already it's a time off going on, but I think I'll be I keep releasing putting on small videos every week,
Right.
but on my YouTube channel. So all you guys please go and check it out. And but something big, I am planning to do something pretty big by the beginning of next year maybe,
Hmm.
because I'm still working on a few fundamental grammatic stuff.
Hmm.
So the whole idea will be, it'll be an album which will comprise of 4 5 songs, which will
Hmm.
each constitute one phase of a day in Calcutta,
Oh.
and that will basically comprise of a lot of folk music with Latin and heavy drum and bass, and obviously samples.
Right.
So I hope it will be a interesting experimentation with
I'm
sound
sure.
and genres.
I'm sure because I know for a fact that if you are on the sound and if you're mixing something or you're working on anything related to sound, the product has to be fantastic. because
Thank you.
whenever back in the day also, whenever we have recorded songs, in that small room of yours, you made us sound so brilliant, man. I mean, you had nothing literally. You had nothing. You just had a what, Nuendo or Adobe Premiere Pro or something like that. Sorry.
Audition.
Audition, yeah, yeah. So you just used to use Audition, and that's how you made us sound so good. And I'm sure right now, if you are recording, it's going to be 100 times better. On that note, one last
Thank you.
track.
All right. For this, I think I'll shift instruments. I most probably am gonna play yeah, my darbuka move.
I was
Okay.
actually thinking that that would be great if you do that.
All right. Uh, so the name of the song is called Kunefa. Uh, what does Kunefa mean? Kunefa is basically a Middle Eastern sweet dish. It's basically, I think, Turkish in origin. I am a huge sweet fan. Like, I cannot live without sweets. And so, yeah, this is a small tribute to all the sweetness in us.
Really nice. Really nice.
So it's gonna be a small. I'll just play a demo kind of a thing. To check out the full version, please check out my YouTube channel. You'll get the entire song. So here is Kunefa.
वाह उस्ताद जी वाह. हाथ नहीं, ये तो हथियार है मतलब. See, it is phenomenal. I mean, I can't, I don't have words because the darbuka sounded so brilliant. I am having goosebumps right now. So I'm not kidding at all. It's
Thank
it's
you.
it's
Thank
it's,
you.
it's out of the world. And Agnit, I really really wish you all the best. May all the good things happen to you, man. Because you are somebody who's taking in so much. Who's doing so much to bring out good sound. You are really honest and very passionate about bringing out something that is your sound. And we would really hope that you get there. You're already halfway through. I'm sure you'll get there very soon. But thank you so much for doing this with us. And I'm sure you have checked out the other episodes, and it will be really great if you tell us what you feel about the show and all the other artists who have been here. And guys, if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please go and hit the bell icon if you want to listen to fresh music every Saturday and meet interesting musicians like Agnitray. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Yeah,
much. This is it from the Indie Couch session.
and if you subscribe to both our channels, you'll get free goodie bags from Ridhan.
Okay, actually, I mean, there's going to be something interesting that's coming up next. I'm going to make that announcement very soon. So till then, stay tuned and thanks everyone. Bye.